Hello and welcome to Northwest Knitting. My name is Kathy and this is my knitting podcast where I usually talk about the knitting I'm doing, the ideas I have for new projects, and my efforts to create a more sustainable wardrobe for myself. This episode is a special episode though, and I'm not going to follow the usual format because I'm going to talk about getting my Barbie that I got so many years ago, and her hand knit clothes and hand sewn clothes. But I will be coming back within the week with a new episode in my usual format. So I do hope, if you're not interested in this short episode, that you come back and see my usual. Okay, so let me tell you, Barbie is all over everywhere. She, of course, everybody probably knows by now that she was launched by Mattel in 1959, and Ruth Handler was her inventor who thought her up, and Ruth Handler was a co-founder of Mattel. So she had one heck of an idea, and they have sold billions of dollars worth of Barbies and accessories and houses and cars and so forth. So almost everybody knows about Barbie. Well, I got my Barbie. This is the first one, and she was, I would have gotten her in either 1959 or in the first half of 1960. And I distinctly remember going to the store and picking her out. Maybe I was 7 or 8 years old, and there was a choice. You could have a blonde Barbie or a brunette, and I had brown hair, dark brown hair, so I picked the brunette. And so here she is, and that I got so many years ago. She's a little, I think I've mutilated her hair a little bit, and the back is very strange. Something's very odd going on here. But otherwise, she's still in pretty good shape, and I have all the clothes that I got over maybe the 5 or 6 year period that I played with her. I would have been pretty much finished, I would think, by high school, so that would have just taken me to maybe the 66 or something like that. Anyway, she came with her now iconic striped bathing suit that right now is very hard to fit into and really doesn't seem to have no spandex. It's not very stretchy. So I decided I would just put her into one of the older dresses. Of course, all my dresses are old because they would have been probably given to me. I'm assuming, I don't have too much of a memory, but I'm assuming they were given to me at birthdays, or I probably had a wish list. And if you've played with them at all, you know that they come with a lot of very fun accessories, which for me were a highlight. You know, she'd have her, pay attention, Barbie. And can you see her eyes kind of slant to the side, which they changed in subsequent, eventually, I'm not sure when. And she looks more straightforward. But they had cute little things, and like the telephone. Too much. And one of the things that I was most happy to see as I went through here was I found her knitting bowl. And so I think it's pretty clear that Barbie knit. I think it's quite obvious, and she certainly had a nice little collection of hand knits that my grandmother made for me. So originally, you know, I did get quite a few of the ones that you bought, you know, things like this. This might have had the, does that look like that would go maybe? And I really love this one. It's getting a little the worse for wear here, but I loved this little corduroy jumper, almost like a poodle skirt, with these felt decorations on it. Very fun. And then, you know, she had things like her, she skied, and she had some, I think she was a fashion model to begin with, but then later she went into almost every profession you can imagine. And here we have, here's her nursing outfit with the lined in red satin cape. And with that came her little hat here. So she did a lot of things. I'm trying to see if I had some kind of, you know, suit. Oh, she was a flight attendant, so that was kind of a fun one. And somewhere in here, oh, what happened to the flight attendant? She was this was back when she was, we called them stewardesses at that time, but now flight attendants. And oh, it's on the floor. But I have to show you because she has her little wings here. Anyway, very fun. So I did have a lot of those and a lot of the little accessories and handbags and all that stuff. But I'm sure at some point my grandmother and my mother looked at all this and saw the prices and said, I could make that. And they did. So they started off. I know my mom made some things. She had a little prom dress here that I can really, this is mom all over because she loved yellow. And then this little mustard colored coat. At the time I thought this color was very dated. It didn't appeal to me at all. It's quite trendy now. Little pleat in the back here. So mom did her part with some sewing, but I think most of it, a lot of the handmaids were from my grandmother. And Graham had 16 grandkids, and I think at least 8 of us were girls. Probably most of us had Barbies. And my cousins very kindly sent me a picture of their knitwear collection from Graham. And so I can see that a lot of these were the same. I went on Etsy and there were patterns that you could get to either sew or knit for Barbie. So I did have, I know now people have girls might have many, many Barbies, but I only had 2. And, oh no, oh here it is. And the one I got next was this one, and her hairstyle and everything was inspired, I'm sure, by Jackie Kennedy, who was first lady at the time. President Kennedy came into office in 1960, and so soon after the original Barbie came out, I am sure that they came out with this one here. So my grandmother knit this coat with cute little pockets in here, and it's just so cozy. It reminds me of something like there's a sweater called Great Love, and there's which is a longer one, and Big Love, a shorter version, and which I've always wanted to make, and these remind me of that. And you can see the cute little hat, that she did. So that was fun. And then there were a couple skirt and sweater sets, and I really like this sweater she made. It kind of reminds me of the Kate Davies Pagaigh or or Bay, I don't know. It's a sweater. It's short. It almost looks like a vest. It has shorter sleeves. It has a real voluminous turtleneck if you want to do that, and it's actually in a red, almost like this. I'll put the link below for anybody who's interested, but I thought this was pretty good going with the skirt. And of course I've been talking about trying to make a skirt for myself for this winter. In fact, I had looked at the Shakerag skirt by Nellknits, and also Miss Evil Knits has a recipe for one. So this is just a simple, I have no idea. I'm assuming that a lot of this is acrylic, but it does look to me almost that this has started to felt. So maybe the coat might be wool. I don't know. So anyway, let me show you a few of the other knits that my grandmother made. I'll pause just for a second. So here we have another, we have a dress that I think is pretty spiffy. It has a little seat stitch, if you can see it. Quite low cut, as they often were for her, but pretty spiffy little outfit, very bright, almost blowing out here, but not too bad. And then here's another red outfit. I think Graham must have thought it looked good with dark hair. This one, she has a little stain. We'll turn it around so no one can see. And you can see with this one, it almost looks like mohair edging here, and then a little marling on the bottom of the skirt. So cool. And so if she were going to Rhinebeck this year, what would you suggest? Do you think this one, or the previous knits? I did think she probably should bring the coat just in case, and it's so flashy, but a skirt and sweater option might be better just in case it's too hot, huh? So I, like most people my age, or many people, I don't want to generalize, a lot of people started feeling that Barbie's body was unrealistic and that it might cause problems for girls. And I certainly came to share that opinion, even though certainly as a child it wasn't anything I have any conscious memory of. I do think that she was really helpful in one way, in that she was out in the world, and my mom had worked until I was born. For quite a while she worked, but when I was born she stopped. And most of the women that I knew when I was in Barbie land here were stay-at-home moms. So even though there were many, many women working, and always have been, in my little world there were women were staying home, and maybe if you went to college it was still expected that you would then if you had children, you you would come to stay at home. But Barbie wasn't home. She was too busy. She was out skiing and doing things. She for a while she had one outfit that I had. She had a little portfolio under her arm. So she was a busy gal. She was out. And eventually, as we know, she really had a lot of occupations and did just about everything. So for me, maybe the more significant thing is what she wasn't doing. She wasn't staying at home. She wasn't cleaning. She didn't get married, didn't have babies. And so she was another option out there in some ways. She was also always going to a party. Now here's this little outfit. I love this little, this would be, if you were learning to knit, this would be a really good, I bet there's some of you might have Barbies that had little thing like this little garter stitch thing, making a nice stole for her little dress. Ooh, and again, wow, Barbie, cleavage. It has a little seam in the back, which is sort of how I figured out for sure that these were done by my grandmother, because they're seamed, and she had an interesting little overhand stitch that she did on hers. But very nice little outfit. And then I have another one that I just think is marvelous. So I think I'll just show it to you. So this was it's definitely a gown. Well, maybe I'll put it on her here. It's definitely a gown because it's quite long. So I don't know if she'd really want to wear it to Rhinebeck. But if I were her and I was as cool as her, I definitely would. So here it is. You can see quite an amazing fit there, and this interesting little stitch design that's also down here. And then I don't know if it's showing up on the screen. I hope it is. It's very she clearly held it with the wool with a metallic shiny thread, and then here at the end it's quite shiny. So I don't know. To me, this is the home run. This is the masterpiece right here. So I guess I'd wear this. Maybe if she wore it with boots, it would look a little more seasonal, and wore her coat. But anyway, that is my Barbie story, and I can't believe I still have them, and I kind of wonder why I do. My daughter wasn't all that interested in dolls, and I actually preferred that she play with dolls that looked like a girl. So she did have one American Girl doll, but that was really more my interest than hers, I think. But Barbie's still here and available to anybody who wants to take her clothes off and on. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Please join me, especially if you're one of my regular viewers. Please come back for my next episode, which I'm hoping to get out before the end of the week with a new finished object. I hope you're all enjoying this summer, and happy knitting.